Deep in the heart of a village, nestled amidst rolling hills, lived Banaka Dao, a man known as much for his eccentric nature as for his pet goat Chotu. Now Chotu wasn't your average grass-chewing, head-butting kind of goat. According to Banaka, Chotu possessed an uncanny ability, predicting the weather. The villagers, a superstitious lot, were both intrigued and skeptical. A weather forecasting goat? They scoffed, scratching their heads in disbelief. Banaka, unfazed by their doubts, paraded Chotu through the village square, proclaiming his goat's meteorological prowess. He even dressed Chotu in a tiny straw hat for the occasion, adding to the spectacle. The villagers, a mix of amusement and curiosity, decided to humour Banaka and see what this so-called goat-powered weather prediction was all about. Banaka Dao, with a twinkle in his eye, explained his rather unique theory. "Observe Chotu's tail," he declared, pointing a finger at the unsuspecting goat. "If it wags to the east, expect sunshine. To the west, rain it will." The villagers exchanged puzzled glances. This was even more ridiculous than they had imagined. Undeterred, Banaka presented Chotu with 2 buckets, one filled with fresh hay, the other with water. "The bucket Chotu chooses will reveal tomorrow's weather," he announced dramatically. Chotu, overwhelmed by the attention, shuffled its hooves and dipped its head towards the water bucket. "Rain it is!" boomed Banaka, beaming with pride. The next day dawned bright and sunny. The villagers, who had taken the precaution of carrying umbrellas, were greeted by clear blue skies. Banaka, however, remained unfazed. "Chotu's powers are still developing," he explained, wiping away imaginary sweat from his brow. Days turned into weeks, and Chotu's predictions were about as accurate as a coin toss. The villagers, initially amused, grew increasingly skeptical. "That Chotu is about as good at predicting weather as my old rooster," chuckled a farmer, shaking his head. Even when Chotu's tail wagged furiously to the east, the heavens would open up, soaking the village in a downpour. Banaka, however, always had an explanation, attributing the discrepancies to magnetic interference or shifting wind patterns. Despite the mounting evidence against Chotu's supposed abilities, Banaka Dao remained unwavering in his belief. He continued to interpret Chotu's every twitch and bleat as a meteorological sign, much to the villagers' amusement. The term Banaka Dao logic was born, a phrase used to describe any deduction based on flawed reasoning and blind faith. Even though Banaka and his weather-predicting goat became a standing joke, it taught the villagers a valuable lesson. It highlighted the dangers of blind faith and the importance of critical thinking. As for Chotu, he continued to enjoy his life as Banaka's beloved pet, blissfully unaware of his legendary and entirely fictional status as a weather forecaster. And Banaka? Well, he never met a theory he didn't wholeheartedly and somewhat eccentrically embrace.